Most Airbnb hosts are just one guest away from financial disaster, and they don't even know it. Hey, I'm James Murphy, and only 6 years ago, I was a pastor earning minimum wage with only a couple of thousand to my name. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on the exact system that took me from financially struggling to building a $25 million Airbnb empire, launching over 500 properties worldwide. Because believe me, I get you. When I first started my Airbnb business, I was drowning in questions about which legal entity to choose from, insurance, and the key aspects of furnishing my listing. All this setup sounded too complicated for me, and I had to figure it out for myself. That's why in the next few minutes, I will give you the blueprint I wish I had before launching my first unit, so you don't have to fumble around in the dark like I did. Setting up your Airbnb business with the right insurance partner. One disaster, one lawsuit, and everything you will build could vanish. Believe me, without the right insurance, you're one guest away from a financial nightmare. Your standard homeowner's policy stops protecting you the moment you start accepting paying guests. That's why you need a dedicated short-term rental insurance policy. There are two that you must be aware of as the most important: commercial property and commercial general liability. Commercial property insurance is often referred to as commercial buildings insurance in the UK and as business property insurance in Australia. On the other hand, commercial general liability is most commonly known as public liability insurance in the UK and general liability insurance in Australia. And listen, to safeguard your business, you need a commercial property insurance that protects the physical asset, the building, the furnishings, and all the high-end amenities against perils such as fire, theft, vandalism, or storms. You may think that the landlord should take care of this, but even if they've got a policy in force, I would still have your own policy just in case anything happens and the landlord does something a little untoward. You want to make sure that you're covered. And you also need the commercial general liability insurance. This one is the other non-negotiable that covers third-party claims, bodily injury while on your premises, like if a cleaner has a slip or a guest falls over or causes accidental damage to your property or even a neighboring property. This is essential coverage that shields your business assets and potentially your personal finances as well from costly guest lawsuits and legal fees arising from incidents during a stay. Now, you generally won't find adequate coverage for a dedicated short-term rental business through standard personal lines insurance providers. Instead, you need to seek out providers who specialize in the short-term rental or vacation rental market. So let's talk about a few specialized short-term rental insurance companies. For the US, companies like Proper Insurance and Safely have policies underwritten to cover commercial activity, guest-caused damage, loss of income, and the specific liability exposures of short-term rentals that standard policies exclude. For Australia, you can try share cover or duo insurance, and if you're in the UK, you have Pickle or Adrian Flux, maybe even Schofield's. The second key area of insurance is the commercial insurance brokers. These brokers work with multiple insurance carriers and can help you find policies tailored to your specific business needs, including commercial property and commercial general liability policies designed for short-term rentals. For the US, you have brokers like CBiz and Marsh & McLennan. For Australia, you can use Austbrokers or Vero Insurance. And for the UK, you can try Allen Boswell Group or Aviva Broker. While a broker can act as a consultant to help you compare options to find the best fit company for your specific situation, you can typically go directly to one of these specialized short-term rental insurance companies and purchase a policy that includes the necessary commercial general liability coverage. Of course, I'd still encourage you to do proper research with ChatGPT and with Google to understand better where to look. If you just get your head stuck down into research, it's really not that complicated. Now, while the right insurance is your primary defense against the risks of short-term rentals, establishing your business as a legal entity like an LLC, a limited liability company, that's for the US, an LTD, a private limited company in the UK, and PTY Ltd, proprietary limited company in Australia, adds another vital layer of protection. Let me take a moment to explain. An LLC, LTD, or PTY Ltd acts as a legal shield separating your personal assets like your home, car, and personal savings, and any debts, liabilities, or lawsuits incurred specifically by your Airbnb business. This means that if you get sued, Your personal assets are protected because the liability is limited to what's owned by the business entity. Combining dedicated short-term rental insurance with the legal shield of a registered company is a golden standard and highly recommended practice for serious hosts looking to truly bulletproof their business and protect their personal financial future. On top of this, the legal way to execute the leases for your rent-to-rents, your Airbnb arbitrage properties, your property management contracts is in the company format. So either in your LTD, your LLC, or your PTY LTD. Just look at Doula or other company formation businesses if you want to open up your LLC, your limited company, or your PTY LTD. They take care of the whole process for just a few $100s. It's very seamless, to be honest. You can try First Formations in the UK and Company 123 in Australia. Anyway, this structure has allowed us to launch over 500 properties without losing sleep over potential catastrophes. I have countless stories from friends and students whose right insurance decisions saved their businesses in unforeseen circumstances. Situations like a severe storm, like the massive flooding that happened in Dubai in 2024, caused so many problems for people in the short-term rental business. And while other hosts can face catastrophic losses from property damage and cancelled bookings, comprehensive coverage protects your physical assets and your income. So, draw a line in the sand with me right now. Are you committed to protecting your Airbnb business like a professional? Of course you are. So now you know how to set up your formal business entity and insurance correctly to protect your business and your finances. But that's a setup only on the legal side. There are a few other things you must consider when starting out. How to set up furniture and key amenities for your Airbnb business. It sounds simple, but it's stressful to even think about everything you must buy when you're just setting up your Airbnb business. The furniture, the amenities, the soft furnishings, the electrical products, all of the elements that have got to come together to make the property a win. But the truth is, it's actually very important you get it done the right way. There was a blind test done with different people who chose a $120,000 apartment over a $450,000 luxury condo 78% of the time. And the conclusions of the study were related to how the right furniture and decor influence booking decisions over other factors. So success ultimately starts with the furniture selection. And I remember when I first started, I made so many mistakes here. So I'll share what to do, what not to do, and so you'll be able to skip all of the mistakes. The first thing you should focus on for your furniture is the mattress. The sleep is so important, guys. Half of the time, people are in your property, they're going to be sleeping. So the quality of the sleep is everything. A quality mattress isn't just another purchase, it's the foundation of your entire guest experience. Well-rested guests are the happiest guests. Just think about it. One of the things that makes a stay memorable is the feeling you get after resting your head on the pillow for the first time. You know that moment where you just sink into the bed and you go, this feels amazing. When you get this right, suddenly the chairs feel extra cozy, the water pressure is just right, and even the coffee tastes like a 5-star brew. You created a positive glow that enhances their entire perception of your property and significantly increases the likelihood of a 5-star review. Prioritizing mattress quality isn't an optional upgrade. It's a non-negotiable investment into guaranteed guest comfort. Now, there are a few other key furniture pieces you should focus on. Performance fabric sofas that shrug off your spills. These ensure your sofas consistently look fresh and clean for every new guest, significantly reducing cleaning time and costs as well, and maintaining the visual appeal of your listing. A flimsy or poorly constructed frame can lead to annoying squeaks or even breakage, directly disrupting a guest's rest. That's a no-bueno. Remember, sleep quality is often the most important factor in getting those 5-star testimonials. And other quality pieces in the right places, such as solid wood coffee tables that withstand use and spills, cushioned dining chairs that encourage guests to enjoy meals at their property, and bedside lamps with USB ports. Now, I wish setting up your Airbnb amenities was just thinking about furniture. But here's where it gets interesting. While a perfect sleep experience creates satisfied guests, it's your property's unique character that creates passionate advocates who can't wait to return. Take, for example, that you have a property in a business district. Why not create a high-performance workspace that transforms how professionals experience their workday? I'm talking about premium coffee stations, productivity boosting design elements, and that perfect balance of professionalism and comfort that commands premium rates from corporate clients. Another example is if your listing is close to concert venues or sports stadiums. Why not build the ultimate pre-game experience with local team memorabilia? Or alternatively, a custom welcome guide to the best nearby bars. These are all potential ideas to improve your properties, provide a better experience, and ultimately get more bookings and make more money. You can even turn these into digital guides, put QR codes around the property, and your guests can just scan the guide with their phone. Now you've got the foundations for setting up your first Airbnb business, so let's make it happen. But without this next critical step, all that work could go to waste. How to set up your listings and make them irresistible. Ultimately, the money comes from the listings. And I say this as someone who, with my wife, has generated close to $30 million in the past few years with short-term rental Airbnb properties. So, I'm about to reveal how you can set up a 3-step system to generate consistent bookings. And it all starts with a picture. Yes, step number 1 is investing in professional photography. Here's what the data proves. Listings with professional photography earn 10 to 30% more in revenue and attract significantly more in bookings. Let's do the math. Let's say your property is available at $200 a night. Even a modest 20% bump from professional photos means an extra $40 every time someone books. Now multiply that by just a handful of reservations and your photography investment has already paid for itself multiple times over. You can't really get a professional feel with your iPhone. Believe me, I tried. No matter how good the iPhone camera gets, you've got to get that pro photographer in. Sometimes we use the iPhone photos for just 2 or 3 days whilst we're waiting for the photos to come from the professional photographer. So I know in real life examples that they just don't match up against the end product of the pro photographer. Professional photographers matter because they know how to make rooms feel both spacious and invitingly cozy, ensuring the images accurately capture the true colors and quality of your furniture. I strongly encourage you to hire them. Step number 2 to set up your listing and make it irresistible is your cover photo. This one image can make or break your listing. I cannot stress this enough, guys. It's the first thing that potential guests see, and in just a split second, they decide whether to click or scroll past it. We call it the scroll stopper photo. That photo needs to instantly capture what makes your space unforgettable. Maybe it's the sun pouring into your living room or that jaw-dropping view from the balcony. I'm talking about those magnetic property features that stop scrolling thumbs dead in their track. They really need to capture what makes your place unforgettable. Pro tip. It's always a good idea to test different cover photos seasonally too. It could be a cozy fireplace scene in winter, a picture showing a warm fire with flames dancing over the logs, comfy blankets on a nice chair that makes guests want to sit down with a book, or a sunny patio with a stylish wooden chairs for lounging where you can watch the sunset. Test it all out and see what performs better for every listing that you have. And finally, step number 3, tap into the power of storytelling. In your listing's description, guide viewers through the space naturally. From the main living areas to the private spaces, make sure to start with your most impressive common areas, then move to the kitchen, bedrooms, and outdoor spaces. The idea is to capture those small touches that elevate the experience. Whether it's a dedicated workspace for remote jobs, the fully stocked kitchen for home-cooked meals, or a private balcony perfect for morning sunshine. These are the little luxuries that make a huge difference. Following these 3 steps is enough to set up your listing properly and make it irresistible. There's a saying, the metrics that get measured are the metrics that multiply. Now, here's the part that most hosts skip, but the ones who win always do what I'm about to talk about. The truth is, most hosts lack discipline in tracking the metrics that matter. If you're not measuring the numbers, you're never gonna get to the elite level of optimization. Once your listing is live, Airbnb gives you access to performance insights. And if you're not looking at these at least weekly, you're flying blind. Here are the 3 metrics you must watch. Number 1, listing impressions. This tells you how often your property appears in search results. If impressions are low, you've got a visibility problem. That could be caused by incorrect pricing. Price being too high and sometimes even too low can hurt your impressions. It could be caused by a low review count. it can make your property seem like a less established or riskier choice compared to those with many positive reviews. And so when you're first starting out with your listing, it's actually important to keep your pricing more competitive to get as many boots through the property as quickly as possible. This will get reviews in place, get the algorithm gaining traction, and allow you to push into the higher levels of the rankings. The truth is, listings with only a few reviews get deprioritized in the rankings in favor of more established options. The next indicator is having no recent bookings. To improve, reevaluate your pricing, update your listing photos, and even consider offering a promo for a limited period of time. The next key metric is listing clicks, the click-through rate. This is where your cover photo and title do the heavy lifting. You might be showing up in the search, but if no one clicks, it doesn't matter. Here's a pro tip for you. Test 2 to 3 different cover photos. Make sure to use high resolution, well-lit photos that are natural and avoid overly edited filters. Run each one for 7 to 10 days and track which gets the highest click-through ratio. Do the same for titles because emotional titles often beat feature-based ones. The third key metric is the conversion rate, views to actual bookings. This, of course, is the most important piece because this is when you get money in the bank. Once they've clicked, do they book? If you're getting views but no bookings, the problem is likely your pricing. What you need to do is implement a dynamic pricing tool like Price Labs that automatically adjusts your nightly rates based on real-time supply and demand, seasonality, and even specific days of the week. Another key area for converting bookings is your photo sequencing. Arrange your photos to tell a logical visual story that mimics the natural flow of your property. Start with the main living room spaces, the living room, bedrooms, kitchen, bathrooms, before showcasing standout features, outdoor areas, and practical details. The next area you need to look at is whether your listing description is building trust and emotion. Use vivid, emotional language to paint a picture. Think crackling fireplace nights or sun-drenched balconies to evoke feelings of comfort, excitement, or prestige that resonate with your target guest. To track these 3 key metrics in real time, all you have to do is create a simple spreadsheet with the following columns. Firstly, date range, then cover photo used, a column for impressions, a column for clicks, and a column for bookings. You're then going to monitor each entry into the columns of this spreadsheet every few days. And as you go through this process and make minor tweaks, you're going to be able to see which photos and which listing titles and which descriptions are performing best. Remember that these minor tweaks can create massive revenue swings over time. The goal isn't just to get the listing live, it's about making sure it's fully optimized to get the best results possible. You've got to track the metrics, guys. Airbnb is a dynamic game and your listing is a living, breathing sales page. The moment you start treating it like one, you'll quickly start filling your calendar. As I believe metric tracking is so important, and really this whole process of launching over a 30-day period with your LLC, setting up your furnishings, optimizing the listings, I've put together a 30-day guide and a metrics tracker that we want to give to you as a free gift, and so click the link in the description to get a hold of it. Now, I've seen countless people get all the information and understand the concepts, but still fail to take action. I don't want my community, the people who watch my videos, to be the ones who fail. So I've prepared this full masterclass on my channel to guide you step by step to starting an Airbnb business that gives you the life you wish. Click on this video next, it's right on my channel and it's yours to take. I'll see you there.